Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's America's Partner Insider Call. This webinar will be recorded on behalf of Microsoft Corporation. If you don't wish to be recorded, please log off now. The on-demand presentation will be available in a few days. You will receive a thank you email with access to today's content. You are welcome to post any questions or comments in the Q&A chat in English, Spanish, Portuguese, or French. Subtitles are also available at this event. Now, let me introduce Helen Cohen, America's Scale Communication Strategy Lead at Microsoft. Welcome, Helen. Oh, you're
Helen,
mute,
you
Helen.
that you are on mute.
Sorry about that. Let me start again. So hello and welcome to everyone to our America's Partner Insider Call focused on the future of modern work with Copilot, which I know everybody is super excited about and there's a lot of buzz about. So I'm very excited for you to hear the information today that will be delivered to you. My name is Helene Cohen, as mentioned, and I'm the Communication Strategy Lead for the Americas GPS team. And I'm responsible for helping drive content and information to our partners to help you drive your business and your partnership with Microsoft. I wanted to start today by thanking you all for taking the time to be with us. For those of you that are used to maybe our old insider calls, hopefully you'll notice that we are on a new platform. We are now using Microsoft Teams Live, which we're super excited about. We're also really excited to welcome our friends and colleagues from Latin America and Canada. And just as an information, these calls will occur monthly, and we're always looking for feedback and topic suggestions to make this time very valuable to you. Feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. Many of you have connected with me and give me great feedback, so I truly appreciate that. Before we get started, I just want to thank you in advance also for your patience. As I mentioned, we have transitioned to this new platform, so if there's any questions or if there's any gaps or something's missing, let us know and we will make sure that we do our best to work on that. Okay, next slide, please. We have a great agenda for you today. We'll get started as always with a couple of announcements. We'll do a quick poll. The poll is really important. Takes you 1 to 2 minutes just to answer a couple key questions for us. This will really help us and help our speakers today tailor some of the content they're talking about and make sure that we understand what the audience looks like. So we'll do that, and then we'll go on to our featured speakers talking to you about the future of modern work. That will be Marie Quigg, and we'll also have Sine Patak, who will be joining her, and then we'll do just a quick closing. Next slide, please. So I'm going to give everybody just 1 minute, if you wouldn't mind, to scan this QR code or I think we're putting a link into the chat so that you can click on that and just answer a couple questions for us. So we'll give you a minute for that. We appreciate you taking the time to answer these few questions for us. Okay, that link will continue to be available to you throughout the presentation. So feel free to hop on that a little bit later if you're unable to get to it right now. Okay, moving to the next slide, please. We just want to give you notice of our next call, which will be on March 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For those of you that are not familiar with the Ultimate Partner Group, their CEO, Vince Manzioni, will be talking about how to navigate the Microsoft ecosystem and understanding the massive opportunity that is available for partners. I know many of you are familiar with him. If you're not, it's definitely a session not to be missed. Next slide, please. In order to keep in touch with us and get the latest information, make sure you take a moment to sign up for our newsletter, and also please join our Microsoft Americas partner community. We are putting, most relevant and most up-to-date information in our partner community, and it's a great way for us to engage with you directly, as well as for you to engage with other partners. Quick list, this deck will be available to you. So just a quick list in here of our most current blogs that are up on the Americas blog site. One that I like to call out because it's very relevant, very, highly used by our partners is the first one. The partner enablement news is all of the enablement opportunities that are happening across Microsoft for you as partners. So please check that out. Next slide, please. Also wanted to just mention that you will see in all of our different communications, you will see this taxonomy of hashtags. These hashtags are meant to help you as the partners decipher through the content that's most relevant to you. So if you were to go into our LinkedIn site, for example, and you are a CSP, if you search within our group, the Americas Partner Community, hashtag CSP, you'll be able to pull up all posts that reference that and get to that content easily. You'll also see some other hashtags in there, that might be of interest to you, trainings or events, etc. All right, next slide, please. A couple MSP community events. MSPs are extremely important to our ecosystem. We've recently started a MSP or Microsoft Service Provider Community Hub, so please feel free to join that conversation. And of course, you can register for how to quickly and safely migrate your clients to Azure with Microsoft and Datto. Next slide, please. Big announcement launching today. Partner of the Year Awards. The nominations are open. Again, you will have access to this deck, so you can access these links. Start working on that now and get your nominations in. We love to see what our partners are working on, and we certainly want to celebrate all of the different things that you are accomplishing. This is acknowledging outstanding successes and innovations by partners in over 100 countries and in a wide variety of categories and industries, including cloud to edge technologies, entrepreneurial spirit, and social impact. Okay, next slide, please. With that, we have a special video from Nina Harding, who is our Corporate Vice President of the Americas Global Partner Solutions.
Thank you all for joining the call today, and I absolutely love every chance I have to connect with all of you. I'm sure you all saw the recent announcement on the launch of Microsoft's Generative AI Copilot for CSPs. Pretty exciting news, something that we've all been anticipating for a while. But with our expansive portfolio, AI really is at the intersection of everything we do, every product, industry, solution area. And we anticipate that it will bring about all sorts of change and a fundamental shift in the way that we work with all of you, our partners, as well as our customers. And we're going to reimagine things in a new way out there in the market. Our commitment is to empower you, our partners, to harness that potential and have that same opportunity for innovation to benefit your customers worldwide and in assisting them to navigate through all of the changes in this technological landscape. So I think we'll be talking more about it, but it's really important that you pay attention to that announcement because we removed the minimum seat requirement and we have opened it up to all our CSP partners. It's really a pivotal time in the transformation of the landscape. We are on the forefront of a tech revolution, and we have a really big opportunity together to truly empower every organization to achieve more. With this, you'll be able to capitalize on the incredible demand that's out there in the market right now. In particular, with all of our SMB and corporate customers out there, they just see the potential of the efficiency, the growth, the opportunity. So I'm so glad that you've joined here today to listen to our speakers and learn a little bit more about how you can prepare for this technology, which promises to be a huge leap forward. And as always, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your co-innovation out there.
Wow, always love to hear from Nina and absolutely echo all that sentiment. We're so excited that everyone is here today to talk about the future of work and what Copilot can do, not only for us as users, but also for this partner community and the opportunity that AI presents from a business standpoint. My name is Marie Quigg. I am our go-to-market manager across America, so US, Canada, and LATAM, supporting modern work and security for our SMB community. If we go ahead and go to the next slide, I'm very excited to talk about Copilot today. And I wanted to take 1 second before we got into that to just share that there are many Copilots that Microsoft is bringing to market. And today we are going to center in on Copilot for Microsoft 365. More to come on Copilot for Sales, more to come on Copilot for Service, and also a reminder that everyone on this call has access to Copilot embedded within Bing today. But we will center our conversation around Copilot for Microsoft 365. If we go to the next slide, hopefully this gives you goosebumps like it gives me, but just a quick sizzle reel on how awesome Copilot is and what it can do for the future of work.
Whoa. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, that's the motto, yeah. Brand new plans for the auto, whoa. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Ball full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it outbid. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't ever do it, okay, how's this? Fit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. To do list written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Okay. Look, flows the same now. Paved the way to snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back to back, I changed the pace now. Had to stack the cash until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
Well, team, as the slide says, the age of Copilot has arrived. I just love that video because as a daily user of both Copilot and Copilot for Microsoft 365, I've seen and experienced real time the differences it can make in my productivity, in my speed to market, and also allowing me to do things that I would never do, like summarize 27-page documents, etc. So let's get into it a little bit and talk about what Copilot is and how it is transforming work for our customer community. As many of you know, we had an early access program where we enabled Copilot for a select group of partners and users. These are some initial insights back from that test group, if you will, and it was resounding and overwhelming results, stating just how much Copilot can transform work. So 68% of participants said Copilot improved their quality of their work, 70% said they were more productive, and 77% of those early users did not want to give Copilot up when the EAP was over. So we can really see that even with our initial tests and the last few weeks of being GA for all customer types, we're really seeing that lack of innovation, the struggling to have time and energy to do your work and get your work done, and the hope that AI is going to lessen your workload, really translating into results, especially with how many folks did not want to give this tool back. So if we go to the next slide, one thing I did find interesting and a bit cheeky as well, but when we were talking to our early adopters and those first folks who were able to use Copilot, we asked them in the end, if your company gave you Copilot or free lunch, what would you pick? And overwhelmingly, up to 88% said they would take Copilot over monthly lunch. And it seems so simple and it seems so funny, but at that $30 price tag, many employees are saying, hey, invest in my day-to-day work, invest in me as a user instead of all these fun freebies. Don't give me lunch, give me Copilot. And I think that just really speaks to how important and really how much of a perk this license and this tool has been to our end user community. So if we go ahead and go to the next one, the opportunity is huge with the AI transformation across Americas in our current Microsoft ecosystem. We have 190 million addressable seats. So these are customers that are currently on a baseline prerequisite SKU who are ready for Copilot and have that foundational secure productivity to be able to leverage this. So just know there is share of wallet, there is share of addressable seats out there, and there are 190 million licenses that we can go attach and sell Copilot to. So the opportunity to transform through AI is huge. If we go to the next one, I just wanted to give a brief overview. Hopefully folks have spent some time on our YouTube or just playing around with Copilot or formerly Bing Chat Enterprise. But Copilot is really your AI assistant at work. Copilot uses large language models, which is your organization's data. It uses things it can read, being embedded into our powerful productivity tools, and the words that you write to it prompts to bring back real-time intelligent assistance and help you do things like write faster, create presentations faster, learn faster, and source more information. It is designed for the needs of the workplace. So Copilot is built with our comprehensive approach to security, compliance, privacy, and responsible AI. We have embedded all of our standards and all of our checks into this new product to make sure that it meets our secure and responsible AI standards. We also make sure that it's going to meet your needs, where IT can still have that control over what your users and admins have access to and what your co-pilots have access to, but then also making sure that it's grounded in your data as your AI assistant, and helping you work through what's most important and what's most valuable to your role within the company. So Copilot truly is that assistant at work, working alongside you, using your data, your company's security, and is built on our comprehensive approach to security, compliance, and responsible AI. If we go to the next one, there are so many. Oh, I wanted to briefly share a quick video about how Copilot works. Many of you have probably seen the Copilot system, but this is just a quick short clip on how we are leveraging those large language models. So if we want to go ahead and roll the video.
Microsoft 365 Copilot is powered by what we call the Copilot system, a sophisticated processing and orchestration engine. It harnesses the power of three foundational technologies: the Microsoft 365 apps, that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. The Microsoft Graph, that's all your content and context, your emails, files, meetings, chats, and calendar. And a large language model, or LLM, a creative engine capable of parsing and producing human-readable text. All accessible through natural language. It starts with a prompt from you in an app. Copilot pre-processes the prompt through an approach called grounding. Put simply, grounding improves the quality of the prompt, so you get answers that are relevant and actionable. One of the most important parts of grounding is making a call to the Microsoft Graph to retrieve your business content and context. Copilot combines this user data from the graph with other inputs to improve the prompt. It then sends that modified prompt to the LLM. You may be familiar with what an LLM can do based on your experience with ChatGPT or Bing Chat. Copilot takes the response from the LLM and post-processes it. This post-processing includes additional grounding calls to the graph, responsible AI checks, security, compliance and privacy reviews, and command generation. Finally, Copilot sends a response to the user and commands back to the apps. Copilot iteratively processes and orchestrates these sophisticated services to produce a result that feels like magic.
I just love how that video simplifies the complexity of large language models and your Microsoft Graph. This video is available within our Copilot pitch deck, which is linked on our Future of Work page. So know that you will have access to all of these videos to use in your customer and potentially partner conversations as well. So sure, this is not news to anyone here, but Copilot for Microsoft 365 is generally available, included at $30 per user per month. You do have to have that baseline prereq SKU of Business Standard, Business Premium, OE3, OE5, ME3, and ME5, and customers can purchase via EA, CSP, and direct. So if we go ahead and go to the next one, there are a few ways that you as our partners can get AI ready. That is through product knowledge, through the technical requirements. There are a few things and a few considerations that need to happen before you deploy Copilot. And then lastly, driving adoption for yourselves, for IT, and being able to support the company education that is required for your customers to actually go use this new product. So if we go to the next one, we'll talk a bit about product knowledge. Here is a 4-step guide to building your own product pitch and deal readiness. There are many links available housed on our Copilot for CSP page, which we will put in the chat for everyone to bookmark. But these would be our recommendations of where you can go to really learn about the product. I specifically want to call out 2 things. We have a self-guided Get Started with Copilot training. We also have a Copilot Masters Bootcamp that has future sessions and on-demand sessions as well. So if you're thinking, where should I go to learn my product knowledge? Definitely attend that, or do the Get Started with Copilot self-service training and attend a CSP Masters Bootcamp. We also have a ton of pitch and usage guides. So there are customer pitch decks. We have guides around how do you build prompts, how do you write prompts, how do I get different groups started in our Getting Started with Prompts guide. I've also found our YouTube is a great place to start. So just videos on how do I do demos, how do I use Copilot within each one of the embedded apps. And then lastly, that adoption kit, because we're starting to see already with customers, they get that foundational secure productivity, they deploy the license, and then there's just a bit of a pause of like, how do I get my IT ready to handle this? And how do I get users within the organization using it? So I highly encourage everyone to check out our prompt guide, our product readiness, and spend some time with that adoption kit because it has excellent tips and tricks on enabling IT at organizations and then also customers there as well. Lastly, we have lots of resources to support with technical and transactions. So we know that there are very specific things that need to happen before Copilot can work well in your ecosystem. There is specifically a technical bootcamp through our CSP Masters program that goes into a deep dive on how to provision all of your baseline prerequisite SKUs before you deploy Copilot. So again, definitely check out and attend one of our CSP Copilot Masters. And if you want to get deep on technical, that technical track is available to you. I have linked our customer licensing and technical requirements. So this links you into the admin center guide. It gives you the step-by-step of what licensing is required, what should I have enabled within those licenses, and then are there any technical requirements that I need to be mindful of, and then transactions as well. So we've there are some specifics around billing and coterminous billing with the pre-licensing SKUs. Those are all outlined, and we'll get into a few details. My colleague Snehi will go into those, but we'll get into details around the transaction and billing specifics, which are included here in our CSP transaction guide, and also our price list and SKU details. So I would take this, and we will post the presentation midway through this call. Take this as your one-stop shop. Just put it up on a screen and start clicking through to get yourself ready on product pitch and deal readiness. If we go to the next one, I did touch on this a bit, but there's a few recommendations here on the product readiness. A lot of times there's questions around prompts, like how do I write them? What do I say to Copilot? And the Copilot Lab is a great place to start. That's also linked on the previous slide, but it gives you some recommendations, it gives you some suggestions, and then it actually helps you use these real time within the product. So if you're thinking about how do I get super good at prompts, how do I use Copilot within Microsoft 365 if you have paid for one of those licenses, or within Copilot housed in Bing, the Copilot Lab and Prompt Guide are two great places just to learn and then test your knowledge. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. A few of the transaction specifics. So I wanted to spend some time here because this is where we all get tripped up, right? Where we've built the value of Copilot. We have customers who are interested. They want to try it out, and it's like, now what really needs to happen to make sure that this deployment goes well? There are some licensing considerations. So as many on the call probably know, there are baseline prerequisite SKUs that must be in place at the customer before purchasing Copilot, which I have listed out here. We also have to be mindful that Copilot is billed only on an annual commitment. We've gotten questions since the day of GA. Is this going to change anytime soon? And the answer is Copilot will stay annual for the foreseeable future. So just know, we can set up coterminous billing if the customer wants their prerequisite SKU in some billing cadence and their Copilot SKU to hit a certain month for that annual commitment, but Copilot must be on annual billing commitments. We do not have a minimum seat purchase. You can purchase one license if you'd like to use it, but we do have a maximum. So the maximum seats allowed for Copilot are the baseline seats that you have in your prerequisite SKUs. So let's say, for example, that in your organization, you have 300 licenses of Microsoft Business Premium. You are then allowed to buy up to 300 Copilot licenses. So your maximum must match your baseline prerequisite SKU. That's something important to consider because many customers have been asking us, like, how many can I buy? And the answer is however many prerequisite SKUs you have. And then lastly, do spend some time in the transaction guide learning about coterminous billing. It is available via CSP, and there are ways to enable setting up your Copilot for Microsoft 365 subscription, and also align that with their prerequisite SKU, whether that's on monthly, annual, or annual. So Do spend some time in the transaction guide, and we just hope to summarize this actually using Copilot to make it pull out those most important things to know. So if we go ahead and go to the next one. I think it's important to understand customer common objections. We know you all are our first line into customers. What are they thinking? What's their feedback about the product? And really when what we've heard and what we know to be true from our customer community, what our partners, just like you've been telling us, is the objections to Copilot are really coming down to these 4 things. So number 1 is price. Everyone's asking us, Microsoft, why is Copilot $30? And we really believe that the value that Copilot gives to the organization is worth that $30 per user per month. And I'll just use a personal example here. So the other day, actually for this call, in fact, I had to write a short bio. I think we all get a bit of imposter syndrome, and that was tough for me to sit down and talk about myself. So instead of spending 30 to 45 minutes trying to craft a paragraph about who Marie Quigg is, I simply put 4 bullets into a Word doc and asked Copilot to please turn this into a 1 to 3 sentence paragraph for me. And it did it in less than a minute. So when I think about, that $30 per me per month, if I saved 40 minutes just in that one use case with Copilot, it's definitely paying for itself for me as a user. So number 1 is price, and we do think that the value back to the company overcomes that. We get a lot of questions on security. How do I prevent leaks? How is Microsoft using my data? We do have some very strong answers in our partner FAQ, which is linked on the bottom of the slide. But through those technical requirements, that's how you can prevent any leaks. And then also, how is Microsoft using my data? The answer is we aren't. What you make in Copilot is yours. And there's some great customer responses that we have created for this community. Readiness, how do I get myself ready? How do I get my users ready? That goes back to sharing the same usage prompt guides, adoption kit, Copilot Lab, the technical requirements with your customer community that you will learn and you leverage yourself. And then copywriting and originality. Who's the owner if Copilot helped me? But I do think we call it Copilot and not the pilot for a reason, because you are the originator and you are the creator, giving the prompts to your AI assistant to go help you with the work that you need to get done. So these are usually the most common objections that we're hearing. I think they're important for all of us as sellers and stewards of this product to know and be able to have customer conversations about. And below on the resources slide, we have linked the partner FAQ, which does give you some suggestions on how you could address these customer common objections. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. We also wanted to put together a sales journey for your SMBs. So if you are looking for, hey, what's my step-by-step guide to find targets for Copilot, to start marketing Copilot availability through your own engines, materials that I can use for prospecting, what is the engagements that I have to leverage, optimization assessments, how can I get people going? This is your step-by-step guide on what to do with the SMBs in your organization, and that could be the solopreneur down to 1, all the way to that large SMB, right? 500 plus users. This is your step-by-step of how you can find those customer targets, how you can engage with them and start driving demand, how you can help realize value and get them using Copilot through the adoption kit. And then also, how can you leverage the new insights within Sales Advisor to go back and be able to expand those accounts? So this really is your 1-slide view on that sales journey for the SMBs that you partner with. Everything from finding targets through optimizing and expanding those accounts in the future. And we'll go ahead and go to the next one. All right, here are the top 2 bookmarks and the top 2 resources. So everything that I've shown you here lives on the AI-powered future of work page. And a great second stop is our CSP Get AI Ready page. So between these two, you will find partner guidance, technical requirements, a link to Copilot Lab, downloads for prompts, guides, demos, our CDX demo experience, anything that you could need in your toolkit to identify targets, to learn about the product, to incentives for how you can make more money selling Copilot, all live within these two. So if we haven't uploaded it already, we'll put the presentation in the chat. This is the first place I would go and bookmark both of these links. So I think with this next one, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Snehi. She is our channel sales lead for Americas Modern Work and Security, and she's going to talk a bit about some of the more technical and security focused aspects of Copilot. So Snehi, over to you.
Thanks, Marie, for your amazing delivery and laying the foundation for the Copilot prerequisites for a great audience here. My name is Snehi Pathak, and I lead the modern work and security business for small and medium business segment in the US. If you move to the next slide, I'll first start by talking about the 3 foundational pieces of Copilot for Microsoft 365, which are first, and the most important, security. I will provide you in my section with an overview of how Copilot and Microsoft 365 tech stack upholds your privacy and security standards. The second, which is the buzzword right now, is AI at work. How organizations, especially the small and medium business customers, can transform their business processes, reinvent customer engagements, and improve the employee productivity with an AI assistant like Copilot while still being at the driver's seat. And finally, the culture shift organizations are experiencing as they drive and build the AI momentum and harness the excitement, which provides long-lasting benefits and value differentiation. Next slide, please. Becoming an AI-powered business begins with 3 steps towards our foundational productivity. First, start helping your SMB customers empower their employees with secure AI-powered tools like Copilot, which comes with commercial data protection. Second, and one of the most important, is skilling. Learning how to use Copilot in the workspace today is an important way to get started with Gen AI in a secured way. The skill development around AI is critical for users to quickly adopt Copilot for Microsoft 365. And the first step for that would be to standardize their infra onto our Microsoft 365 tech stack. Last, but surely not the least, it is crucial to implement appropriate security and compliance policies to safeguard data and prevent unauthorized access. As Marie would have touched upon, this is one of the common questions that we get from the customers. How do we prevent data leakage and secure our data, right? And I'm now going to touch upon that. Next slide, please. One of the 6 prerequisite SKUs for Copilot is M365 Business Standard and Business Premium. These are the 2 business SKUs which are primarily meant for the small and medium business organizations with less than 300 users. When it comes to implementing the security and compliance controls, both Business Standard and Business Premium include some of the functionalities. You all would be familiar with multi-factor authentication, MFA, which is one of the features of Entra ID, earlier known as Azure Active Directory, and it provides organizations with the basic security defaults of restricting access to business information. And this is included in the Business Standards SKU. Business Premium, on the other hand, comes with some of the advanced security technologies that is used and loved by many SMBs. It's powerful, but also simple for you as an IT partner to deploy and manage. And for the same reason, within Microsoft, we call Business Premium as one of the hero SKUs for the SMB segment. I'll go a little bit deeper into the security and compliance functionalities which comes bundled with Business Premium. They fall primarily in 3 buckets: identity, data, and devices. Now let's touch upon identity. Enabling secure access is really the first step towards enabling security of remote work. In addition to the basic features like multi-factor authentication, which is also included in Business Standard, Business Premium includes capabilities like conditional access to protect against lost or stolen passwords and ensuring that the right people have the right access to the work applications. Second is data. Advanced threat protection capabilities that protect data against cybersecurity threats like phishing and ransomware that are hidden in email attachments and links, whether those links are shared in email or chat or through OneDrive files. You can also protect data. You can also protect your data against data leaks with a functionality called data loss prevention, and can control and restrict access to email and files using information rights management and encryption. And all of this is included in Business Premium. Finally, let's talk about securing devices. Managing the work data that ends up on mobile devices like phones and tablets that employees own is critical to maintaining security and control as employees are now working remotely and in a more hybrid manner. With Intune app protection policies, you can, for example, specify that work files on personal devices can only be saved on a work share versus a personal share. And with mobile device management, you can set policies and wipe data from lost or stolen devices. I hope this provides you a good overview, a high-level overview of how Business Premium brings together a comprehensive remote work toolkit, integrating collaboration solutions with layered identity, data, and device protection. Implementing all these security and compliance controls is quintessential for a successful Copilot usage and adoption. If we move to the next slide, now I'll deep dive a bit into some of the enterprise SKUs. In the last slide, I covered the business SKUs, which are primarily used by the SMBs with less than 300 users. These enterprise SKUs, which are also Office 365 E3, E5, Microsoft 365 E3, E5, are also the prerequisite SKUs for Copilot for the organizations with greater than 300 users. Similar approach of looking at protection, right, from 3 perspectives. First, identity and access management. Second, data, information and threat protection. And finally, endpoint user management. We'll go one by one. First one is identity and access management. While multi-factor authentication is included as a capability across Office 365 enterprise workloads, conditional access policies, which are based on identity, device, location, and network, are only included in the Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 SKUs. When we talk about information and data protection, we are referring to a comprehensive set of solutions that can help your organizations govern, protect, and manage data wherever it lives. And data is key when it comes to Copilot. This encompasses applying sensitivity labels across your Microsoft 365 applications, which is Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Teams meetings, SharePoint libraries. Second, managing data lifecycle by applying retention labels. And third, some of the advanced features which comes with E5 SKU, which is e-discovery or insider risk management. Do note, and it's very important, that the stark difference between Microsoft 365 E3 and E5 SKUs is that E5 comes with automatic sensitivity and retention labeling based on advanced classifiers in machine learning, while the E3 SKUs comes with manual labeling. That's the main difference between E5 and E3 if any of your end customers asks you, right? Now, the final pillar is the endpoint user management, which is basically Intune. Intune is included in both your Microsoft 365 E3 and E5, while the core capability of mobile device management is also included in Office 365 Enterprise SKUs. Mobile application management is only a part of ME3 and ME5. The reason why we believe it is important to highlight the core differences in the security and compliance features of these qualifying SKUs for Microsoft 365 Copilot is because it enables partners like you to provide assessment of the customer's infra in order to assess whether they are ready to adopt Copilot and also prepare the adoption roadmap. If we move to the next slide, now that I've provided you with an overview of the security and compliance features in each of the qualifying SKUs, we will now look at how you can engage with customers and win Copilot attach opportunities. So in any given case, right, there can be two scenarios. Either the customer already has one of the prerequisite SKUs which are listed on the slide. If they have what is needed to qualify for a Copilot attach, the best way would be to lead with an assessment, with a proper assessment of the infra, of the customer's infra, in order to ensure that all the key functionalities which we just spoke about are being actually switched on and used by the customer, followed by addressing any technical readiness gap when it comes to Copilot. So guiding the customer through how Copilot works. Marie touched upon that, and there was a video that you saw that Copilot typically uses three components, right? The large language model, content and context through Microsoft Graph, which is connected to the emails, chat, document, provided that the user has permission to access. It's very important, right? That's why we touched so much. I went into a bit of detail why having the right access is very important, because if any information goes in the hands of the wrong user that's not intended to, it can create problems for the organizations, right? And the Microsoft 365 apps that we use on a daily basis. There are many amazing resources on adoption and deployment of Copilot, which are available on the Copilot landing page, which we requested you to bookmark. And right from like skilling, enablement, down to the adoption, you can find amazing both sales and technical readiness resources. And we will also post the link for you on the chat. Now coming to the second scenario, if the customer does not have any of the pre-qualifying SKUs, then what, right? Then we would encourage you to lead with the entire secure productivity story of how customer organizations can benefit by moving to the cloud, not just from the productivity, collaboration, and security lens, but also from the total cost of ownership perspective, which is top of mind and key for many SMBs. We've also provided guidance on how to pitch the entire secure productivity story, and that is also available on the Copilot landing page, and I've hyperlinked that on the slide for you, a slide which you can download. Coming to the next slide. This slide is just a recap of all the technical prerequisites and requirements that are good to have, right? The first one, the prerequisite SKUs, which is M365 Business Standard, Business Premium, Office 365 E3, Office 365 E5, Microsoft 365 E3 and E5. Second, Azure Active Directory or Entra ID account is required. It is important to have. Third, having a OneDrive account is also important because then only all of the customer would be able to benefit from all of the functionalities which Copilot provides. Fourth one, having desktop applications of M365 is also one of the important prerequisites. Though Copilot is not available on the older version of Outlook, it is available on the new Outlook for Windows, which is currently in the preview mode. And if you have Outlook, you can go and switch the toggle to experience the new Outlook for Windows, and you will see a Copilot on the top ribbon there. Last but not the least, having rich information across Microsoft 365 apps in the tenant is very important for Copilot to function seamlessly. The license, and if you want to deep dive into the licensing and technical requirement, we have hyperlinked the links on this slide, and it's also available again on the Copilot landing page, which we asked you to bookmark. If you move to the next slide, please. Murray touched upon this, so I wouldn't spend much time on this slide. If you need guidance on how to enable Copilot adoption for your end customers, then would highly recommend you to download this adoption kit, which is available on the landing page and is one-stop shop for all the resources related to strategy, enablement, and go-to-market. Next slide, please. Again, a quick recap of whatever we covered both in Marie's section and my section, right? What is Microsoft Copilot for M365? It is a sophisticated processing and orchestration engine that provides AI-powered productivity capabilities by leveraging three key components, which is large language model, content and context through Microsoft Graph, and the M365 applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, which we use on a daily basis. Second, it is generally available for all the customers across channels to purchase, provided the customer has one of the prerequisite SKUs mentioned on the slide. Third, all the readiness resources are mentioned on the Copilot landing page as well as hyperlinked on this slide. Fourth, while there is no minimum threshold to purchase Copilot, it can be as low as 1 license per customer tenant, but the maximum number of Copilot licenses that the customer is eligible to purchase can be up to the total count of the baseline prerequisite SKUs that the customer has. Right. So again, citing the example that Marie did, if the customer has, for example, 300 business premium licenses, they can purchase Copilot for Microsoft 365 up to 300, but can go to the minimum as 1, right? There's no minimum threshold again. If you move to the, I think that's the last slide for me. Next slide, please. Now you have an understanding of the technical requirements, you know what are the licensing prerequisites and where you can find all the resources when it comes to enablement and technical and sales readiness and go-to-market. Now how to get started. This is where Copilot Lab comes in, right? And what is Copilot Lab? Copilot Lab is a collection of prompts that you can use to explore and experiment Copilot. And prompt engineering right now is a hot topic because it's like, what is prompt? It's like giving instruction to a smart assistant. You have to be clear, concise, and specific so that Copilot can understand your goal and deliver best results. So by learning prompt engineering, which you can by leveraging Copilot Lab, you can make the most of AI and use it to boost your productivity, creativity, and efficiency. Second, the target list of customers. Cloud Ascent is a tool that is available to all of you, right? It's a partner facing tool where you can download the propensity list of customers and you can filter the customers who already have the baseline prerequisite SKUs, and those customers would be the low-hanging fruits to go after and position a Copilot attach opportunity, right? It's very important. Third, if you want to have like a scalable go-to-market approach, we have Copilot, we have one-to-many briefing sessions where you can incorporate a Copilot positioning roadmap to the customers, as well as leverage the adoption kit that we spoke about. All the technical and sales documents are available on the landing page. Spend some time, go through some of those key resources. It will be super helpful for you when you engage with your target customers. I think with this, that's the end of my section. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll hand it over to Helene if we have time for a couple of questions, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we have time for any questions today. We are going to do our best to continue working through all of the great questions that were asked in our chat, as well as looking through all of the comments. We really do truly appreciate that. I wanted to take a moment to thank Marie and Snehi for joining us today. Fantastic content, ladies. So thank you for that. I'm sure our partners are going to be downloading that deck. I see lots of downloads happening to get all of those fantastic resources. Again, I just want to thank you for joining us today. Remember to download the deck and register for our call coming up in March, and join our LinkedIn community, the America's Partner LinkedIn community, and continue to have that conversation with us. We will be bringing you lots more on Copilot, so please let us know how it's going and let us know what else you would like to see. Again, thank you. Muchas gracias, merci, and muito obrigado. I hope I got that close. Thank you, everyone.